I'm
This
not sure what's
conference will
happening.
now be
Hey, Ron,
recorded.
can you hear us?
Yes, I can, Tina. Thank you.
Okay. Can everybody hear us?
I can.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, let's get going. So calling the May 8th work session to order at 6:12 p.m. So moved. All in favor? Okay, first item. So planning board received our revised, the revised answers to their request, the ones that we went over last month. They approved everything. I circulated the law that we're going to put into effect. Did everybody have a chance to look at it?
Yes.
Okay, that was pretty much everything that we said, so there's not a lot different there. So we have to schedule a public hearing, correct, Joe?
Yes.
All right, so we'll do that for next month, and then we can adopt it and move on. So FEMA updates, we are meeting with them. Jess, Chris, and I are meeting with them probably every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And right now they've submitted most of the work that was done. All the work that was completed has been submitted. It's in that it goes from one phase to another phase to another phase to another phase to reimbursement. So it's the ones that are completed are about a little bit more than halfway into the steps, but we haven't heard back from them yet. And all the ones that are not done. Walnut, we spoke with an engineer that their team is possibly providing us with engineers to help us with Walnut, California, and the retention basin. So we're hoping that they can come in, do another site inspection, and help us expedite to restore. And and they know that Walnut is the priority with the retention basin in California after that.
There's no deadline.
The completion of work has to be April of next year. I think it's April 23rd of next year. Everything has to be done. And we need to move forward on it regardless, but we're trying to get their engineers to okay it so that we know the scope of work. We reached out to other engineers, have gotten one bid back, one engineer has not responded, we're waiting for a third. So it's all in the works, but Walnut needs to be expedited because of that breach in the wetlands. So,
And there is like regular email correspondence in between meetings as well. So there's a portal that everything gets uploaded to. So as they request stuff, we've been uploading it in a timely fashion to meet their deadlines. It's just the size and scope of the projects has been very extensive. So,
Yeah.
But everything seems to be moving
it's
at
moving.
a better clip now.
It's moving a little bit better. We've got a couple of things further down the line.
Yeah.
All right. Newsletter, Ray, great job.
Yeah.
Did an excellent job. It looked wonderful.
Really good.
Did anybody have? I got your revisions, which I made. I'm waiting to see if any of the other trustees have any other edits. Did you get a chance to read through it yet?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
All right. So then, just a couple of you had 2 minor text edits. We had to fill in some stuff from the village.
Yep.
So we'll take care. I'll take care of that. If nobody else has any other changes, I'll circulate one last pass, probably beginning of next week, and let's get it to print by the end of the week. All right. Then we've got annual reports from the village boards. That's a new protocol that we've implemented this year, and Chris is heading that up. So, Chris.
So for our zoning board of appeals, the annual report submitted May 2025 from Jim Ragnan, the chair. Just to kind of give you a quick summary, Jim mentions that since January of 2024, they've held 5 hearings and requested variances were granted in each case, and that all the appropriate documentation was included with all those submissions. He also mentions in the report that a number of the board members have served together for quite a bit of time, so that kind of helps with the ebbs and flows of that board. And on the bottom, it does say that basically, in sum, the board appears to be working smoothly, aided as noted above by the groundwork and support provided by the village clerk's office and the building department. So Jim overall is pretty happy with how everything's running, pretty smooth, and we've opened the lines of communication so that throughout the year, if there are any issues or anything that needs further clarification, kind of like what we went through with the planning board, there's more of an open line to kind of communicate with the board of trustees and get them what they need to operate smoothly and effectively. So the full report is in here. Anyone's welcome to read through it. And also on the planning board side of things, which let me pull it up right here. Chris basically, Chris Schneider gave us a breakdown of their roles and responsibilities, their meetings, and what they currently review. And as you know, we just discussed all of the new things that were discussed with that planning board request. So there's been a lot of communication over the last year between the planning board and the board of trustees. So right now, he says planning board roles and responsibilities are more clearly defined thanks to discussion between planning board and board of trustees. So kind of the same thing we were hoping for with the zoning board, but both board chairmen appear to be happy, and there's no urgent issues that need to be addressed at this moment. So.
All right, then we've got our Port Jefferson Harbor Commission report, which John Lane is the liaison for. I'm just going to read it real quick. The Harbor and Waterway Department will be hiring an additional full-time harbor master this spring. The commission will draft a letter to Congressman LaLauda to request help and funds to address the serious shoaling problem near the town's launching ramp. It has been reported that LaLauda has secured federal funds for such work. Councilman Cornwright will arrange a meeting of the commission with the town supervisors to also bring to his attention the shoaling problem, the continued shortage of staff, security matters for the party fishing boats at the marina, and other matters. All seasonal waterway markers and buoys will be installed soon. I think a lot of them were already. There were no serious incidents or safety matters to report. Villages are requested to make known that the town wants to hire 2 persons for summer duty as pump-out boat operators in Port Jefferson Harbor and will accept applications now. The next commission meeting will be on May 14th. That was from John. So that was a report. And now we've got bids, which I think some people are here for. So we can start with drain cleaning bids. Which I have to find. Okay. Jess, you want to run through it?
Sure. So for drain cleaning, we received 4 bids. The first one comes from Clear River Environmental. Their per day rate is $3,325. The cubic yard rate is $93.50. The cubic yard capacity per truck is 15, and their estimated days to complete is 6:15. Next, we have Parkline Asphalt Maintenance Incorporated. For their day rate is $1,850. Their cubic yard rate is $100. Their cubic yard capacity per truck is 16, and the estimated days to complete is 6 to 8. The third we received was from Rosemar Contracting Corp. for $5,000 per day, $500 per yard. There's an 8-yard capacity for each truck, and their estimated days to complete is 9. And the last one we received was Royal Pavement Solutions at $3,300 per day, $95 per yard, a 12-yard capacity per truck, and their estimated days to complete is 5 to 7.
All right. So the previous bidder that was awarded the job was Parkline last year, just to clarify that. So Rosemar seems to be pretty high comparatively to everybody else.
They got the longest completion time.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to be able to go with Rosemar. Hi, Dave.
I
All right.
Are there any issues with Parkline?
They did take an extra, they didn't complete, their estimate was, last year their estimate was off by, I think by a day or so, like we had to nix it, stop it before the whole scope of the work was completed. But I mean, that's a little tricky. I mean, I like to get it to be close, but you know, with the range of 6 to 8, they didn't get to all of all of what needed to be done. We had to kind of cut it off to keep it within our budget. Um, they are looking like they are the cheapest. Oh, hey, there she is. Where you're in time for the first bit. Careful. We're doing our drinking. Oh, just read them. You didn't miss much. Oh, you're good. So cubic yard capacity per date per truck. I'm not really sure how to do this because we don't have like an estimate of cubic. We have a cubic yard rate. I mean, the cubic yards are going to be the cubic yards. So the lowest cubic yard rate is Clear River, then Parkline, no, then Royal, then Parkline. Capacity per truck. I don't know how that factors in because it's based on cubic yards. So I think the capacity for, I would say that the cubic yard capacity per truck is relevant in the fact that it's going to take them more time to haul if they are a smaller truck. But as far as the cubic yard rate, we do get the dump tickets so that when they go to the yard to dump it, we do get a receipt. We requested that in our bids from all of them, so we will get that. So I'm going to estimate, I'm just going to, for the sake of, I'm going to say 7. I'm thinking 7. Oh, fine. Well, it's looking that way. We kind of took Rosemar off because Rosemar's far more expensive, but I'm going to average everybody with what they, I'm going to just say in the middle.
Right.
So let's do,
Only because it's per day,
right,
right? And then it's
3,
you already
3,
needing that much more.
2, 5 times 7 equals 23,275, and then 1,850 times 7 equals, is that right? 12,950. What did we wind up spending last year, Jess? Do you know?
I told you, I think it was around.
Okay. Let's see what the cubic yards were from last time.
Yeah, I'm only thinking because this is so much less, and this isn't really that much more.
Well, when you
You know,
do
say
the
if
per,
it's 2 days, say if it's 2 days, right? You're talking 4,000 to 60.
well, I did it.
6,500.
I averaged the days because these say 6 to 7, so I gave them 7, 6 to 8, 7, and then this one 5 to 6, 5 to 7.
Well, I would
6.
actually do 7 in each one because it's probably going to, it should be about the same
So
amount
do
of
it for
days,
7
right?
for each.
For each,
Okay.
and then we'll have an idea, right?
So last year we spent 49,600 in 8 days.
And what was the cubic yards that was dumped?
240.
All right, so now let's add that in. Let's just do 240 times 93.5.
How many days are it?
Okay, and let's do 12,950. Oh, nope, sorry. 200, you said 200 times
240.
240 times. Okay. 23. Hold on. All right, so when you try to compare apples to apples, we've got 23,275 plus 23,0 equals 75, 12,951 minus 400 equals, okay, 23 plus 22,800. Okay, so what I did was, based on the cubic yardage that we did last year, and on a 7-day average for all of them, Clear River comes in at 45,715. Parkline comes in at 36,950, and Royal comes in at 45,900. 45,715. So Parkline. Yeah. I think we all got that. All right. So we're going to do this one to Parkline. Let's move on. Sorry for anyone who's not Parkline. Is there a Parkline person here? Oh. All right. Let's do pothole repairs. All right. So we have, Jess, you want to read them?
We received 3 bids. The first one is from Parkland Asphalt Maintenance. They approximated the square footage at 3,340 for a total project cost of 26,553. 3,340 for a total project cost of $26,553, and a price per square foot of $7.95. And they did list a few other areas that needed repair that weren't included in the bid detail, like on the extra page in the bid. Next, we have Suffolk Paving Corp., who approximated the square footage of 4,024 square feet. Total project cost is $42,252, and their price per square foot is $10.50. And then last, we have Royal Pavement Solutions. For the approximate square footage is 12,408. Total project cost is $80,652, and the price per square foot is $6.50. We did have a note of the 88 areas. 15 areas are possibly candidates for reimbursement. This is for a few checks. There's 15 areas totaling a square 9,404 square feet, totaling a potential of $61,126. And there's an alternate proposal with additional areas not mentioned in the RFP, but with recommended additional work.
Okay, so last year Royal was the company that did it. Joe, if they're here, am I allowed to ask them a question?
Yes.
You sure? I'm going to just throw this out there to Royal. No, I'm not negotiating. But your square footage, you can negotiate. Your square footage price was significantly, more than double the other ones. Do you have any insight as to why? Dave? Yeah.
The list is kind of broad. It gives some house numbers. It's a check for groupings, check for quantities. So there are some areas that, based on history and having done this type of work, grouped together for larger areas instead of a bunch of small patches.
If anybody else is here on this bid, I would offer them the opportunity to talk about the same question.
Anybody else here on this bid? And you are?
Suffolk David.
Okay. So, and your square footage came up, you got that, how did you determine the square footage?
Based upon the scope of work that we provided.
Okay. And did you have anything that you were gonna piece together, possibly? I know that,
A couple intersections, I remember one intersection that there was a couple of patches that I was gonna make one area. So there was a couple areas that were gonna be combined with the block one, block zero.
okay, thoughts?
The thoughts are hard because we're not comparing the same area, right? I mean, this is, if Royal says it's 88 areas, 15 areas are possible for reimbursement. That would mean that they would be reimbursable for no matter who we choose.
No, the reimbursement is based on, so, you didn't see the bid detail. We don't have a copy of the bid detail, do we? So the bid detail was, let me show the trustees the bid detail.
It's not this, right? I can add some time to. Okay. Big number. Big number.
I had 2 pages in this. This isn't, they didn't get this.
You put that down, that's a comment.
Yeah, you do this one.
Okay, so this is what all the bidders received. So just to explain it to you, it was code enforcement, and I also went and took a look at everything. So we gave them the location as close to the homes that we could find. And our approximation, obviously, we're not professionals in this, at least I'm not.
Before you
So we gave them approximate potholes visible that we saw, and then we gave them the notice, the group, to check to see if these areas could be grouped for reimbursement, because if they're grouped and they're larger than a certain square footage, we can apply for reimbursement. And then separate line items on the bid details. So did they give us the separate line items for the bid details? Because that also factors in.
Because I mean, this is considered
Well, let me see.
significant different numbers, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Square footage, everything.
It's big.
yeah.
These are the actual quotes we got.
I like this one. But,
Okay, yeah.
but I.
This
we
one
can
doesn't
afford
have like a
Which one's that one?
graphic, but this one has,
So,
Then,
this is
we're
Royal.
in the hall, right?
yeah.
You can see this. So these are the ones that were not included.
So
Yeah, take that out.
out.
This is,
So those are the separate bids.
yeah, that's separate from that.
So
This
this
is what
number,
you
so
actually-
what we're looking at is without the other areas.
That's, you know, that list that you have, like this one,
Mhm.
that's this, there's one, like outlined for.
You know, what I think Michael Fagan is, you have a list of the areas that you provided for that.
Yep,
What you might consider doing is
Bless you.
to qualify the 3 bidders, you might consider, returning that list to each one, or ask them to separate, to put down square footage for each particular item, and then you can see where the differences are coming from.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I
that
think
idea.
I think we've got, I've got,
Just so you know, you guys went about this the wrong way. What you should have did was say there are 40 patches and this is the amount of square footage instead of doing apples and oranges, which you wound up with. You should have told us the amount of square footage and the amount of areas, and it would have made it a lot easier for you to determine, instead of us looking at it and coming up with different numbers. Two
understood.
of us were in the same area, within, I understand he was looking at it a different way, but
You should tell us how many square feet.
Well, the thing
or-
is,
And how many areas, this
the-
way, look, it's apples and apples.
I agree with you. However, we don't have a, what do they call them? Like a facilities.
Like a highway.
We don't have a highway department or a
No, I
facility.
understand.
So if I look at a pothole and I tell you that I think it's gonna be 7 inches, you might tell me it's 4 feet based on,
Well, everything should be a minimum 3 foot, but, you know, at least 3 foot by 3 foot. to get
so,
proper protection anyway.
so should we, we can do that. We can,
Well, hold on, before, but if we give to one, we have to give to the other.
no,
Well,
all three,
yeah,
all
yes,
three
we go
bidders.
No,
No,
I'm saying,
everybody.
his point in his statement, we should give the same floor to
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Royal to add on anything you think,
Yeah.
right? Do you have anything you would add to that?
I have the highest square footage right now, so I wouldn't do
No, I'm saying.
You have the highest
anything
square
to-
footage. You also
Any
have the
input?
lowest
Do you have
square
any
foot
input
rate.
you wanna share on the process?
it. No, I get the frustration with trying to fit the exact quantities aren't known.
Right, okay.
It's hard, because.
So we're gonna,
I see.
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn back our list
And get the square footage.
and give it to you. I wish I had a ruler and could do a better job, but if you guys can give us square footage on each of the line items, we'll see where the
Line item meaning, like.
Meaning-
Location.
locations we gave you. Yeah, I mean,
With the square foot, are we giving square foot?
no,
No.
they're gonna give us what they're gonna come up with where they came up with the
Oh,
square
I see,
footage.
yeah. Where did you, right, where did you come up with the square footage for each, almost like a breakdown of what that's,
My proposal has a chart that has every address, areas, square footage.
Well, then you're probably done because that's what we're gonna
you
ask
have no
everybody.
homework.
We're gonna ask the other bidders to do the same so that we are comparing apples to apples and it's a learning process for next go around. I don't want to be, I don't want,
And you can't award anything based on what you have here. But you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It should be, you know, so it's fair to you and it's.
Well,
Well, it has to be fair to everyone,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's gotta be fair on both sides, it's like, we know the scope of work in which we're bidding in, it's like, you know, what you're getting, not.
Yeah.
right,
I look at it one way, somebody looks at it a different way.
100%.
okay, all right, so we will email back all the bidders with that request and table and go. Now, does she have to go back and put it in? She doesn't have to reissue it. We're just gonna go the 3 bidders that are in
It's
and,
just due diligence on analyzing the 3 bids. and
okay. All right,
Help us figure it out.
all right. That's where we'll go. So we'll,
Yeah, just do that. Let's just get it.
Yeah.
the list, sure. Okay.
The next bid would be a lot easier because there were 2 roads, so that'd be Milton Day, so.
Yes.
or 3
Yes,
roads,
the
3
next
roads, so
one
it's a
should
lot
be-
We
easier.
got a lot more bids though.
Yeah, okay. So now the next one, so
Do you
the,
want me to?
yeah, I want you
go
to,
through them again?
yeah, but I just want to find it on the page.
It should be the next one.
Okay. So just to clarify for this is for, this is for Washington, Adams, and China that we have designated. We designated Washington and Adams because we're working with FEMA, and they have designated Washington and Adams as warranting some reimbursement. So that's where we're starting. Washington's also one of our main roads, so that works
Good.
out well.
All of Washington?
Um,
Or just?
it was Washington to the patch
Patch.
where we did,
Okay.
and then it's also Burning. So it's also including Burning. Now we're gonna get whatever this is. We're not guaranteed reimbursement, which is why we have the bond in place.
Mhm.
And even if we're guaranteed, like we're working, you weren't here, but we're working with FEMA, and one of the issues was a drain collapse, and they want. At the end of the day, it started out really optimistic for the whole project, and now they're actually having us break out anything additional. So we can't berm 2 feet and blank and 2 feet. So part of that whole process is going to come back to us, and we are only going to be looking at a partial reimbursement. But the idea is to go from Washington and the entrance on 25A all the way to the patch that we did last year with all new road, and then berm everything from Washington to Chestnut. At least one side, definitely needs it. I'm not sure if we're gonna do two, but I think we put out the bid for berming both sides,
For,
Washington. Yeah, okay. And then, Adams is just gonna get paved.
I think Adam
No
will do a
berm.
berm.
No.
The only thing we didn't do a berm on was China
Well, we
Lane.
have
Oh,
the
China.
building block, China.
Yeah,
Right,
so no
okay.
berm on that.
All right, very good. All right, so,
And I think when we did the original site inspection, FEMA, they wanted berm on, they suggested berm.
yeah, but they suggested it as mitigation, and now we're waiving with mitigation to expedite the reimbursements, so
You want
So
the
it's not gonna.
I don't know.
It could, it could.
I think they're gonna do what they did with New Street. They're gonna
Okay.
make us break it out and take, and that's great that you guys wanna have berms, but
Yeah, I
what's
know.
it gonna look like to make it look like what it looked like before the storm? So it's gonna be
Yeah.
these many feet of berm, which we can't go in there
Some
and.
people complain, how come they got a berm, I didn't get a
No,
berm?
and not even that, but we can't calculate that, you know, so the berms is just gonna, I feel like the berms
Let's
is
go
gonna
for it.
wind up being on the village.
Yeah, let's go for that.
And probably in its entirety, that's what we can expect,
Yeah.
and some reimbursement on the roads.
Which would be great.
All right, so we have,
Thank you. Makes it a lot easier.
so,
Okay, so we received 6 bids.
okay,
I didn't include like all the square footage for Brookhaven because they actually break it down
differently,
differently, so I do have a copy here for your questions, but it's like asphalt, concrete type 6 FRA top course and a milling of asphalt, so it,
We're only gonna be using the same stuff, so that's.
yeah, so they just, I couldn't, I didn't want to
All
figure
right.
out square footage.
so,
So we have 6. First one is Royal Pavement Solutions. Do you want me to do all the square foot and everything, or you want me to do total?
now let's just do
All right, so
total.
for Washington, they submitted the bid for $161,154. The berm only from 66 Washington Chestnut is $1,500. Adams Street is $29,106. China Lane, $57,810, and the project total is $249,570. But they did leave a note that there'd be a $7,000 discount if Washington and Adams is completed together. So that total would be $242,570.
Which we would do. So,
Yeah.
that's good.
Well, we were thinking not, but I would consider that, yeah.
So next we have Rosemar Contracting. So for Washington, it would be $174,420. The berm on Washington would be $10,500. Adams Street would be $35,530. China Lane would be $67,780.50 for a total of $288,231.50. Next we have Suffolk Paving Corp. For Washington, it would be $124,025. The berm only would be $4,245. Adams Street would be $10,532.25. China Lane is $31,755.90, bringing the project total to $170,558.15. Next, we have KJB Industries. For Washington, it's $104,500. The berm only is $5,825. Adams Street is $17,920. China Lane is $47,685. And the project total is $175,930. The note for MPT 5,500 a day is for traffic control,
Yeah.
I believe, right? Yeah, I
Maintenance of
don't,
the deck to the
maintenance,
traffic.
yeah,
So that's
That
in
would be-
addition, that's in addition.
that they quoted, yes, I
You
don't
really
know.
don't need it in this
I don't know
So
if the
there,
other ones would be in
Traffic
addition.
control.
well, I think we can't, I think I wouldn't
No,
include
No,
that.
no.
I would
Can't
not,
do that.
I would
So
not,
then the project total will be $175,000.
yeah,
Then we're
because
not
nobody
comparing
else
the same
gave us
thing.
that, so we
Yeah.
can't,
And
I'm not
then-
gonna compare that.
Parkline is $157,000 for Washington, $5,800 for the berm only, $42,200 for Adams Street, $75,540 for China Lane, and the project total will be $280,000 for 500 And then the last one we got was Brookhaven for Washington, it's $164,000. They didn't include for the berm only.
No, they rolled it all together.
Yeah, they roll.
Oh, okay, and then for Adams Street, it's $11,210.22. And China Lane was $24,740 and 70 cents. For a project total $199,950.94.
So let's roll the berm into this, right?
Yeah, I have it here.
No,
This
Yeah,
here,
berm.
well, no, but this is, I just wanna see, cause don't we need to get this, cause these two, this is everything, and then I wanna,
So this is the Washington. I didn't. I'll let you know.
see, don't you think we should?
Oh, that these two should be together?
Well, because these people, this is their total for all of this, and these people.
I don't believe.
No?
Read this. It's for Washington Avenue from house number 66 to 25A. And I don't see anything for berm here unless it's that, but I don't think that's. And then the other one's Adams and China.
So you're saying that they didn't,
I didn't
they didn't
receive
price
anything
it
for the
for
berm.
berms.
I only got from 66 to 25A. So I didn't include. Anything for
My request, yeah. Well, if
Um,
that's the case, they're still higher.
Yeah.
So what you guys talking about?
Looking at the numbers, we're just looking at the math. So the project is as a whole, right? And we're not breaking out like one street and another street and
Well,
stuff like that.
Here's the one thing that I would consider is China is contingent. China's contingent on FEMA. Currently, I mean, we can forge forward. My thought was just to keep things fluid in the village as far as budgets and the bond and the repayment. I thought that we could do China as after we moved a little further with FEMA, but we don't have to. We could do all of them at once.
Okay, that's what you think.
Do you know what I mean? So originally it was like Washington and Adams in my mind were grouped together because that's it doesn't have to be. That's something we can
I don't think it matters.
decide.
I think the same person, the same bid comes up front better.
So again, Rosemar was the highest
Yeah, final.
by a lot.
I think Suffolk.
Suffolk Davenport. I would just entertain the difference between KJB and Suffolk.
Yeah.
Let me just see something.
The difference is China.
Well, here they've got the Suffolk has 60,000, that's 5,000 square
Oh, that's
feet,
interesting.
500 square feet.
So Adams Street, their KJB's price per square foot is much higher. They're doing much more square foot.
Yeah.
I think Suffolk actually is a better place for Adams.
283, more square footage, more square footage, more square footage.
It's on
more
almost
square footage.
every.
And that's what we agree. That's what
Yeah.
we agree.
Okay.
It's better, I think.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, so Suffolk,
So,
okay.
Can I just make a suggestion that, if you go to look at this, in this project, that it's subject to, due diligence,
It has to be. Okay.
successful people.
We did the job as being able to do all three roads in one mobilization. You know, not to be like two and come
Are you
back.
Suffolk? Sorry.
Yes, I am.
So that's okay, because right now,
So
That's how we're
how
approving it.
great of a difference would it be if it was different?
Well,
Like,
again,
because-
that's not the way the job was bid, though.
Bid, right.
Right.
If you wanted the job bid a different way, then you should have, you know,
that's different.
had different verbiage in the bid as
Okay.
to how it should have been bid.
Okay.
That's not the way it was bid.
All right. So I think we'd have to approach
And my
this
plant
with-
is right here, 5 minutes away, that's why it's hard for the other people, the people in the asphalt plant is, or
Are you the asphalt plant on
Yes,
Tom's
we're on
Golf?
the plant, 5 minutes.
Oh, I have to talk to you, because you gotta do some, right? You gotta
Yeah, we
talk
have
to
to-
the,
Stick around.
yeah, stick around.
I don't know the plant. I work for something big.
Or leave.
Or run.
So we went from my own plan to my boss.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I am not the owner of the company, but that's
All
a
right.
separate corporation.
All right, so,
Yep.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Moving right along. So we are on the new street drainage project.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Take care.
I mean, one of the, I just want to say something with the gentleman here,
Oh, wait, hold on.
I think it's in our bid documents, if it's not, it's in the law to read it. It would be difficult to award a bid for somebody that we have a dispute with, so I just wanted to mention it as part of the due diligence review. But, we'll take that into consideration.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
maybe that's exactly.
Yeah, we do
I
have,
missed that, I'm sorry.
well, it's kind of significant actually, because we are working with the asphalt plant that is your boss's or whoever's. We've been working with it, just to give you the background. We've been working with the DEC regarding the petrochemical smell that comes down here. It comes down here before we even knew that you guys do any paving, and it's kind of a big issue. It's still a discussion and it's still a problem, and we're still working with the DEC. So,
Again, it's a separate corporation from Suffolk Data, so I don't know how that.
Well, we'll consider that as part of the due diligence.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Good night. Take care.
Good night, thanks.
Is there a point of this revenue comment?
Yes, after we get through the work session.
We got a little time.
It's not that, we don't have a ton of time, so hopefully the rest of this will move. I know you have a little baby, and sorry,
Can we
baby.
skip them up in front?
What?
Can we move them up front?
Well, we have to get through the work session, but we're most of this is pretty quick. So, the new street drainage project is complete.
Okay.
So
I
that's
do
all
have
there
a,
is to
I do have a question.
Yes,
So, in the bid and what we approved, it said that 3 new drains would be installed, and I believe there's only 2.
there's
That's not
always
what it
two.
said. That's not what it said. Because I took it out.
This is this bid.
Yeah.
This isn't the one that we went with. We had to cut this list back. I could show it to
Okay,
you.
yeah, I need to, yeah, I want to see that because I was like, what the scope of work
This
was.
scope
was
of
not-
work, the 56,000, we couldn't afford it. We had a drain collapse, so we chose to do two drain to address the drain issues that were going on. I don't know if I have it on me. We have a copy of it somewhere. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you know what?
But they're not in there, they're not in to be paid off yet. I don't see them, so, okay, so we can do that offline. If you want.
Well, I can
To-
show it to you.
To show whatever the new, because the new bid was not, this is what we got and what we approved,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
The new, any changes to this was not told to us. And there was one payment made to
Because
them
we
already.
had an emergency situation, so the emergency situation warranted we get the work done, and the total was 30,000.
The new bid was 30,000.
And I don't know, did we not go over the second bid?
I'm looking in the minutes, but I don't know if I have it.
You know the bill.
No, it
It's
does.
only one on the page column today. Then
Which bid are we talking
to do New Street.
From, it's like from April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look through the minutes.
April 11th.
This isn't my normal.
That's fine. You can just do that after. I just want to make sure that we weren't, we're not paying for something we didn't. get.
No, I'm gonna show you, I have it right here, hold on. I have it,
They will fire every day from my fucking wrong thing.
it was a much larger scope of work. We
Well,
did
much
what we,
smaller scope of work.
well, no, the original bid that we were doing, was much larger, and then we
cut it down. But then we didn't rebid it.
didn't, because it was an emergency, we couldn't rebid it. We had to do
What was the emergency?
the drain collapse. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I can still pull the his records. If I'm trying to look for the email, because I have to search.
I have the bid because it's in the ARPA. It's part of the,
It's definitely
When was it, the storm was August?
yeah,
August 18th, 2024.
Yep.
But, yeah,
here we go. Okay, hold on. Where are we at? Projects. Let's see. There you go. This is the work that was done.
Okay, well,
So-
can you send us a copy of that
Yeah,
so that we can compare it to what the original approved scope of work was
sure.
and what the change in, I mean, what was the total?
30,000.
Even?
30,000 even. But you remember when we did the just to clarify, the
But I don't
other bids
understand.
were in the 120s when we compared to this one. We awarded this one. It
Oh, I
was
have no idea.
significantly, yeah, there was one that was,
We had this one, then we had the 97, the 88, the 93, the 101.
or 101.
So my thing was, though, even if this was approved in April of 2024,
Correct.
okay. The work did not start until November of 2024. That's when the work started. So I'm not sure when the emergency happened.
The emergency happened. The emergency happened during the storm.
In
The drain
August.
collapsed. Yep. And they started
Okay,
the
so
work.
they didn't start the work till
No,
November.
but it was an emergency.
So 3 months later, they started the work after the emergency. So I would just think that in 3 months, somebody should have, a new bid should have went out to all of us, or at least the thing that said that we're changing the scope of work. So that's not what the board approved, is that right?
I can't, I would have to look at it, I'm sorry. Legitimately,
So the work's done now, but the thing is if we're not paying them, but we should know that.
Okay.
That should be sent to us, and if there was an emergency, somebody should have known that.
Well, we did know that there was an emergency. We did discuss the drain collapse. We discussed the drain collapse a number of times.
Right, but when it's an emergency.
When it's
When it's an emergency, I wouldn't think that there's a 4-month delay. I would think that there's an emergency and it has to be rectified immediately, which is it's not 4 months.
Okay.
And then the project wasn't finished until the month of the year now, until April of 25. Right, so that's all. My thing is that if you change the scope of work and we approve this, I would think that has to be, the board needs to be advised of that.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. Moving on. The Port of Sands pricing.
Yeah, don't use the one that's in your agenda, I gave it an extra sheet.
Okay.
And another one that had it added. So last year we actually did receive quite a few calls and complaints about the porta potties not being cleaned when they said they were. Things like that. It's a company we've worked with for a long time. They
Mhm.
are the cheapest on there. So that's up to you guys.
Hi, Gary. I didn't see you come in.
Gary,
So-
I didn't see his name.
In the event, I mean, they're significantly, like, cheaper than the next option. But is there some way to hold them accountable for their performance? Like, is there an opportunity, Joe, would there be an opportunity if we, not saying anyone, but if we awarded someone a bid and they underperformed, but then how tricky does that get?
it's just in the agreement, right, I can handwrite in subject to, proper performance.
But the
Yeah,
thing
but-
is, we would, this isn't, is this a contract? It's a monthly thing, so we would just exit, we would just tell them to come get their porta potties and bring in somebody else if they poorly perform.
Yeah, I don't know, this is something.
Yeah,
I can write in 10 words to say, village has right to terminate on improper performance or something.
all right, so do we want to stay with the original company?
Yeah.
And
They are
hope that they're,
we like,
okay, then,
and they're giving you twice as much service according to this, whether they
Well,
do it or not, I don't
yeah.
know, but according to this, they
okay.
come
Yeah.
twice a week instead of once a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Even if they
obviously the
came
most
once a week.
cost-effective option. We've used them before, so we know they'll be here. At least, you know what I
At least
mean?
we'll know they'll
Right.
be here.
But there has to definitely be some sort of performance clause in there based on the feedback.
Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
do
What
that.
was the performance question? Was
My
it
name is
the,
even if they came
The
once a week.
cleanliness
No,
is
they
an
haven't
issue.
okay, so we'll write that in.
Okay, but I'm saying is, these are all once
Yeah,
a
I
week,
know,
they're
but
still
in the
so.
summer.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, let's add that.
Good
If
idea.
we
Cleaning
give them the
lawn.
work, we'll give them,
That
we'll
makes sense.
have to advise them that we've gotten complaints and that we're,
I'll give it to you.
I mean, it's a monthly, we pay them monthly, so realistically, we would just stop and bring in somebody else. Do we want to pick a secondary company now so that we don't have to go through this process
I would
again
take note of one, not
Yeah.
take note of one.
as a board?
Yes.
Okay. So who is the secondary one that we are thinking?
Well, Outback has it with no sink, but if we're gonna go with a sink, it would be Island. Because Outback with a sink is $570, Island is $400. So
Yeah, but they're once a week, not twice a week.
yeah, both.
Oh, they're both
are.
at weeks, once a
Yeah.
week, okay.
So we obviously would want a sink in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's-
Do we have a sink now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's a big thing. All right,
Oh,
let's
The
Okay.
sink like
If-
with the gel, that's considered a sink?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do the
No,
when
I
you
think
step on
there's
the little
water.
thing in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Where's the water?
they have a water,
It's
they have like a tank
There's a tank. Yeah.
and they refill it.
I've never.
I've used the sink. I've used the sink, so
I'm like,
I know it
yeah.
exists.
It does
I know it
exist.
exists.
Maybe
I
I
thought
don't
the
use it
gel
that
was
often, that's
was
why.
hand sanitizer for some. I was like, no, this is definitely soap. You know?
Yeah.
But sometimes they do the hand sanitizer.
I mean,
and
we
make it
have to
easier.
like question
right?
how many people are going to use the sink in a porta potty. Should we just skip the sink and save money?
No, I
I think we'd want,
I
I
think
think
we go with the
anybody
sink.
who's going in there is probably gonna like the
I guess
sink.
we don't use it enough.
I want to take a shower after I get out of the
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean,
All right, so
So
there's
I-
the,
So
the
Outback-
secondary,
Outback-
the
Outback
secondary consideration would be,
with the sink.
That's-
Oh, no, island without a sink, with the sink, right, I'm sorry.
okay. All right, all right, so now we've got election inspectors. We've got Kendall Parrish, Annette Ainsley, Jacqueline Taylor, Deirdre Cronin. We're gonna have 2 inspectors, for the earlier part of the day, 2 for the later part of the day, and 4 for the count. And then as alternates, we have Linda Sharon and Tyler Chiaffi. So we are all set with our election inspectors. Property tax default collections, Joe?
So I have, excuse me. I received a list from Natalie. I'm gonna use the 6 people. One of the people owns 2 lots. And the approximate amount that I'm pursuing is about $23,000. The notice was sent out. My office took care of a first notice. I just sent out a final notice to everybody. 2 of the people I had email addresses to. One of the 2 people that I sent by email called me within 10 seconds, pleading that I don't sue him, and he promised he'll be here next week, and that's about $2,000. There's 2 people that owe about $9,000. Excuse me. There's one property which is about $9,000 with one owner. There's another property which is 2 owners with about $9,000. I had a process server serve them with the final notice. And so they realize that there's some significance to it. And we'll be starting collection actions within 10 days. Basically, we'll have them recorded collection actions. There's a problem with one of the people, which I learned, which is I believe that one of the people that has two properties is deceased, may be deceased, probably is deceased. And that's something that I'm going to have to work on for the village and give you a report on how to proceed with that.
Yeah, how much are they in debt? A lot?
I think it's a few $1,000s.
Okay. But it's over 2 years, right?
Oh, yes, they're well over 2 years, yes.
Okay.
And there is a person, like a family member, whose address that we have, that's out of state, and I did send a notice, the final notice to that person in demand. I also called the phone number that I got for them out of state to let them know this is going on. But I believe that it may be ignored, and we're going to have to take a different action to do that. So that was basically it. We have a judgment of $1,000 against a homeowner. I sent a copy of the judgment with the demand for payment. It was served on them in Florida. I didn't receive any response. I confirmed again that the judgment was filed properly with the Suffolk County Clerk, which it was. So it's a lien on their house. And I will be starting the garnishment process now, the garnishment and levy.
So you just jumped to the open items for the board to review by the village attorney. So is there anything else? Because now I can take that off. I can check that off my list.
I did I need one or two emails go back and forth about the some policies and procedures. One of them was the FOIL.
Yeah.
So that we do have a FOIL policy and a FOIL procedure. We've had one.
Right.
Had them for a while. I'm going to give them to you updated versions. I just want to say that you're supposed to have a policy and procedure, which we did have. They look fairly identical, fairly the same, but one is a policy and one is a procedure.
Right.
And
we have them listed as policy and procedure, though.
Yeah, we did. And what I did was the state over the last couple of years has changed the regulations of FOIL, mostly having to do with how much you can charge when you're processing the response, and that's the language that I put into the update. We have I'm making a recommendation. There's an opioid action that we started as a village, along with basically 15,000 other municipalities across the country several years ago, and it's my recommendation that we pursued this now for a number of years, and largely due to New York State preempting the local municipalities in our state from recovering anything. Any money that has come in from the opioid defendants or will come in, may come in, has been preempted by New York State and will be taken by New York State and not passed down to our level, although we did have identifiable damage. And so it's my recommendation that we withdraw from those, that you vote to allow me to withdraw from those actions. The other thing is that I wanted to mention, I think that is, there's a, several years ago, the village entered an intermunicipal agreement with the Suffolk County Planning Division. And what that IMA enabled us to do was to avoid having to do referrals to the Suffolk County Planning Commission on every variance application that we have, or many of the planning board applications. So they've updated the IMA that they want the villages to sign or agree to, and I have the new version. I'd like to provide it to you and have you vote on it at the June meeting.
Okay.
And that would exempt Hopewell from having to do many of the referrals on many of the actions that we do. So under the general municipal law, for certain types of approvals that the village does, we're supposed to be sending copies of the applications over to Suffolk County to see if they have any comments. And but the nature of the ones that we've had so far are would be exempt under the Zion Neg, so I'd like to formally adopt it and then we'll be covered.
All right,
And I'm gonna pass up the freedom of information.
those are the ones that you
Yeah,
sent me earlier this week.
Right, 2 weeks
I
ago.
didn't put these in the share folder, but you can pass them. I didn't put them in because I didn't have time to look at them
Just
myself.
do these together.
So this is one of the assignments, the voluntary assignments that we had that I had put out. Joe already took care of these and he sent them to me. I just didn't have time to look at them and it was beyond the Monday rule.
Go for
So it might have been, he might have done it, but I missed it. So this is we can look at these. I'll put them in the
Did you
share.
see my, you know,
Yeah, you want to do the other policies? Okay.
okay.
So,
Only these two, okay.
no, well, Joe already
These are
did
in-
these. These are just,
Oh, okay.
they're final. He took care of those.
Great.
Oh, and did you have changes on the newsletter?
Nope.
Okay, great.
Great.
These will also go in the share folder. We'll review them. I'll put them in for June and we'll review them and talk about them in June.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And then now we've got the bookkeeping contract renewal. So Natalie's up for renewal. She has not changed her rate. I think Natalie does a phenomenal job and is always reasonable. And I would suggest that we hold on to her
I agree.
because she's
I agree.
great.
I agree.
So we're going
And that's
to,
what we budgeted also, right?
yes, we
Yeah.
budgeted
Perfect.
based on her rate when we did it. So we're all set with that.
Yep.
And
Super.
that's it for the business, the work session.
Almost there.
Almost there, guys. And we'll let you do the public comments. We'll put you in front of our reports. We can at least do that. All right. So motion to adjourn the work session at 7:13. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to open the business session at 7:13 p.m. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's do our pledge. Yeah.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we are up to announcements, and then we're going to let we're going to go to public comments before we do our reports. Announcements, the 2025 village election will take place on June 17th for 2 trustee positions. Nominating petitions are available at Village Hall and due by 5 p.m. on May 13th. The community dock is now open for the 2025 summer season, and the village sprinklers are expected to be operational before May 15th. The Poquaw Community Association Summer Kickoff Happy Hour will be on Friday, May 23rd at Walnut Beach. All residents and their families are encouraged to attend. I'm just going to do the public hearing. We're gonna cancel that public hearing, right? Okay, so the public hearing,
It's gonna be adjourned until June.
we're adjourning it.
Yeah, to see
Okay.
what happens with the demolition.
Okay, so the public hearing is adjourned. And the public hearing regarding removal of hazardous conditions at 106 Van Brunt Manor Road has been adjourned and rescheduled to reconvene at the June Board of Trustees meeting pending deadline imposed by Justice Court. All right, let's flip-flop and do public comments. Public comments?
All right, you're up in the back.
You guys.
I just need to.
Tatiana, if you want to,
And baby.
so we're having her first birthday party at California Park on May 17th, and we're
Yay.
having it there, and we were thinking that there was going to be a porta potty, but it wasn't there, so we reached out to the village to find out that the porta potty doesn't come until the following week for Memorial Day. So we tried to say that we can get porta potties ourselves and then have to get the insurance, all that. So we tried reaching out to be silly because they're saying that we only need it for like 2.5 hours for the party, but like they'll keep it there for a week. So we're gonna get the one, drop it off. It might be the same one, and then they're gonna pick it up. We were wondering if like the village, whoever just did to do it a week earlier, and maybe we have to pay the cleaning expense. once for that week, it seems like more cost effective than having dropped off, picked up, dropped off again.
Okay, so happy birthday, for starters. I do want to just say this, the porta potties generally are for resident use. They're not to, everybody who has parties, they go and use them, but they're not intended for that purpose, because typically people will, like, there's weddings down there, there's events. People bring in their own porta potties. People bring in the trucks, and they do go through the insurance protocols. You're a week away from the event when we would get it. So what I would suggest is, and if the board agrees, I would say we can get them early and you could reimburse the village for the period that we typically don't get them until Memorial Day. So to keep it fair to the residents who have brought in their own porta potties, I think that would be a good way to split it. Does anybody have any other feelings on that?
Nope.
I would have to look into.
We'd have to look into
I
it,
don't
but
know if the company prorates, like.
Well, the bid that we
would you
did was
want-
for,
you
was
would
for,
want charges for the extra week?
we would
Or-
start it the week that they,
And you
what
want
typically
to be
we do,
reimbursed for what? The cleaning, the week, like
whatever the
what?
additional amount is.
whatever
in
the
which-
additional
I think
amount
we
is.
just-
I would have to look and see if they prorate, because I think they just bill
Well,
on
then-
monthly and then it might prorate. I'd have to look and see.
Well, we can't do it monthly because then that throws off our whole schedule.
Yeah, so I would have to call the company and
So-
see if, because
They
if
say
they
they
deliver
could
it.
add it on and you could just let us know that expense.
Yes.
If it's not like this huge hassle for you guys.
I would just call them and say, we would like it a week early. What's the
Yeah.
difference in price between what we just approved and what it is, and then let them know, and if they're comfortable with that, then they can pay that.
Okay,
I think that's a fair split
and you
down
would
the
just
middle,
want the
right?
difference of the extra week.
I would
Be
want,
reimbursed?
and to have it cleaned. Yeah,
Okay,
that would be reasonable.
okay. I'll call
Does
them.
that sound good?
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just let us know what that.
We'll find out what they can do. We have to award them the bid, and we'll mention to them and see if they can do it. I mean, they are usually Memorial Day, so I can't guarantee it. So you might want to look elsewhere just in case, so that you're not shuffling people back and forth to your house to use the bathroom. Yeah. So we'll take a look and see what we can do and tell you what it would cost. All right. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's the 17th.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry to keep you waiting. Take care. Bye bye.
They probably don't even need it for a whole week, they probably just need to be stopped the day before.
Yeah, but then
Looking at
it's
the floor.
going, we usually install it and do like the 25th, or, the
Oh.
23rd,
So they're
if
gonna
they get
have
the
it.
16th,
It's a whole, yeah, okay.
and I don't know if that'll make them charge us. I'll figure it out.
Well, if they charge us for the month, they charge us for the month, and they can reimburse us.
Yeah.
Whatever
the
they
difference
tell
is,
you.
You tell them, and then they get the option
They
of
have
saying
the
yes or
option.
no.
It's better
They
than,
say-
it's better than,
Having them one brought in and having it removed. I'm not opposed to having it done, but it's not fair because people do bring in their own porta potties. So I don't want to.
there's no added, as long as there's no added expense on the villages and
Yeah.
it helps them, then that's a
That's a
fair
win.
split,
Yep.
right?
All right. So now we.
I would just have them propose a request by residents to start the
Yeah,
the Porto San,
Yeah.
earlier than was originally scheduled
Yeah. Okay.
in general.
In general. All right. We can go back to the reports. Public safety. Go, Dave.
Public safety report from April 3rd to May 8th, 2025. Object request number 1, director controls of safety violation checks, and number 8, incident reports. There were 5 reports documented, 2 of which were EMS calls, 1 police information only, and 2 were code violations. Quality of life complaints, there was 1 solicited. Property maintenance, there was 1 complaint. Number of code violations that are open, pending, court compliance of 5. Parking violations addressed for 5. Field appearance tickets issued 3 in the last 30 days, for a total of 15 year-to-date. Special event permits, there are 7. Special patrols, directed patrols, detentions, including three unoccupied homes. Controls for solicitors, school bus stops, and road stop. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Treasurer's report, Ron, you there? Ron, you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was getting feedback and I shut off my microphone.
Oh, no worries.
Based on, I sent to Darlene, and I don't know, are you hearing that sound? I don't know if I'm,
It's all right.
It's all right.
We'll power through.
all right, sorry. Based on the earlier conversations regarding FEMA, it seems like the question that I had about $23,000 is it's not going to be a help to the budget. So that leaves us, I think, with about something like a $10,000 over budget estimate right now at the end of the year.
Okay.
And that's even with the under budget amount for snow. So there will have to be some shifting around at the end of the year of reserves so that the snow under budget can be put into its own snow reserve as opposed to helping out with a reduction in the regular $130,000 unassigned reserve. So we could end up with as much as $25,000 having to be transferred from the unassigned reserve in one way or another. One would be to appropriate it for the budget overage. And there are still some questions that might not end up happening, but I have some questions, especially with regard to an account that I have shown as lease payments, which there's been very little going through it. Suffice to say that would be the worst case scenario, would be as I just mentioned it.
I'm actually looking at.
It could be just a break even, and then there would have to be a transfer between the snow reserve to the snow reserve from the operating reserve, the unassigned reserve. And if anybody has any questions, that's the way I'm seeing the year end turning out.
We got one.
Hey,
There would have to then be at the year end a number of budget transfers between accounts, and most of those would be relatively easy to do, as unlike some of the agonizing we've done before. So in any case, if anybody has any questions, please.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do, Jess. So when you say like these transfers for year end, does that include the reimbursement of almost $15,000 from the planning board applicant before year end?
No.
Okay, because we're getting other reimbursements too. We have a couple
Yeah.
of reimbursements
That'll be
coming in
next week.
from residents that are going to be coming in that have been pending. So I think we're going to be actually in better shape than what you're seeing right now. And regarding the FEMA, I don't recall that we ever planned on that reimbursement. To my knowledge, we never anticipated that reimbursement was going to happen in this fiscal year.
We couldn't have because we were told that there was no timeline on when they were going to
Yeah.
give it to us.
So I don't know where the projection that we were anticipating happened, but to my knowledge, we've never expected. I'm thinking we're lucky if we see it in the new year, these FEMA reimbursements. So I'm not sure if
Maybe I didn't clarify it well enough. There is an amount that is amount paid in advance, which is FEMA, that's around $24,000 on the balance sheet. And that was,
I think that's chips.
we were
Yeah,
looking, I believe, to try to use it up somehow. And I was under the impression that this is how we were going to try to use it.
Because the state of emergency wasn't declared, right? It was like a whole, so it was under chips. I think that's why.
Yeah.
there's like
You know what, Ron, we're gonna have to kind of, let's look at that because we have some, let's see where we're at in the next couple of weeks before we propose to the auditors that we do these budget transfers, because I think we're gonna actually, we're in the next couple of weeks. I mean, we're not gonna see any money from FEMA, and I don't know why it was allocated, but let's go through it let's kind of go through it with Natalie in the next couple of weeks and see where we are, because I don't see the number being that big at year end, to be honest.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
The only thing when you're saying you're going to be receiving monies from some residents, if those are past due amounts,
They're not.
they may not help the issue.
They're not.
No, okay, great.
Yeah. They're not posted. No, they're not. They're not on record right now. No, they're not. They're not on record now. They're money that's coming back in for reimbursements of money that the village laid out as part of the building department laid it out, planning board laid it out. I mean, that's the buckets where they came from, and that's going to do some corrective action to both of those.
Excellent. Very good. That's very good.
So I'll have more info on that in the next, I know we're getting close, but we have a little time. I think we'll be a little bit better. Let's have a conversation next week.
Next week, I'm going to be away for a week, so but
Okay.
I will be back.
I did want to ask you if if everything was submitted as far as the budget. I know that there were some issues going on with getting the budget. Were you able to upload it to the portal that New York State, was that done? Or are we still working on that?
No, I did. I submitted it with the tax limit filing. That was part of the submission. As if you go on to I don't know if you go onto the website, the state, but I've been looking at that, and it shows that the submission is certified, which has to do with the budget.
Good.
And then the other submission, it says it's submitted, but it doesn't say that it's accepted. So I'm kind of, unless I call them and ask them where they stand, I don't know that they
I think if you're going to be gone,
but neither one has shown that it's closed. Which once it's closed, that means it's done.
okay. So if you're going to be gone next week, or in the next couple of weeks, if you,
I'll be going just 1 week from Wednesday to Wednesday.
all right. So if you can give them a call just to make sure that the budget, that they've got everything, because we are getting towards the end of the year. So
Yeah, no, they have it. I just don't know if they're where it is in their process. So but I will call and I'll let you know.
that'd be great. All right. Thanks, Ron.
Okay, thanks. And I'm signing out then.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you. Court report.
Okay, no new cases open for the month of March. Total cases closed 1. Parking violation and collected $50. Total to date $3,260.
All right.
Can I mention something, please?
Certainly. Of
Okay,
course
so-
you can.
Okay, thank you. So we have, please, so we have a situation we have to deal with in the court where the judge wasn't able to sit in April, and I don't know what the story is for May. So we were not able to hold court in April. No issue with the judge, but we couldn't. There's a process that has to be followed to get a replacement judge. And it's not done by us, it's done by the court administration. They weren't able to do it quick enough to accommodate us. They know that we need somebody and they're working on it, but I'm not sure what will happen by this court date. I'm hopeful that we'll have somebody. We may have to have a really quick special meeting one day just to get 3 people together to vote on it.
Yeah. So you're working with Julie and Cohalan to
Justice League.
the Justice League? All right, good, because,
And they're,
yeah, I think that
Don't we
would
have
be,
a backup?
that would be great. That would be great.
thank you.
All right, so, let's go on to, we did our public comments. Gary, you didn't have anything, did you? All right, so, board updates. Planning board met on April 14th to discuss a subdivision application for the property at 18 Chestnut Avenue and pending dock application for 9 Chestnut Avenue. The next meeting is scheduled for May 12th at 7 p.m. Zoning board, the zoning board met on April 16th to review variance requests for 103 Van Brunt Manor Road. Variance requests was approved. There is no meeting scheduled for May. All right, now we are on to our resolutions. Resolution number 05202501, resolution adopting May 8th, 2025 agenda as printed. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Resolution 05-2025-02, resolution accepting the monthly report from May 8th, 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 05-2025-03, resolution adopting the minutes from the April 3rd, 2025 work session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, that's mine.
Resolution number 05-2025-04, resolution adopting the minutes from the April 3rd, 2025 business session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, my turn. Resolution number 05-2025-05, resolution to schedule the Village of Hopewell Board of Trustees work session beginning at 6 p.m. on June 12th, 2025, with the business meeting to follow immediately. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 05-2025-06, resolution approving the renewal of bookkeeping contract with Small Business Management Solutions for a term of 1 year in the amount of $540 monthly. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, hang on, let's get these numbers down. Hold on. Yeah. Jess, you got them in front of you that I could just read them in?
I have.
You have them? You
well,
got them?
I don't know the disposal.
We need the amount per day and the disposal rate,
The amount,
That's the cubic yard.
the cubic yard.
okay, per day is 1,850. Cubic yard is 100.
Yeah, so is that, right, so you could read it. It's 1850 and what was the disposal rate? 100 per cubic yard.
Right, $100.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, for Parkland.
We did it by yard and then how many yards it.
Per cubic yard. Okay.
All right, so resolution number 05-2025-07, resolution awarding a contract for drain cleaning to Parkline Asphalt Maintenance in the amount of $1,850 per day with a disposal rate of $100 and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract. So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Joe, what are we doing with this one? Because this one's getting, are we tabling this or resolution? We're going to table this whole resolution.
Yeah.
Yes, a resolution is to the, resolution.
There is no resolution, is there?
I was gonna make a resolution to amend this to, motion, you could just make a motion to table resolution.
Yeah.
20.
Motion to table, resolution 05-22, motion to table resolution 05-2025-08 pending due diligence of
Submitted bids.
submitted bids. Yay. Motion to table pending due diligence of submitted bids. Okay. All right. Seasonal
Aye.
porta
So moved.
stands.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
quick on the porta stands, with that one, do I have to put any language in here about the contract clause or anything, or is that just gonna be, I can just award this? Like, no, we,
I would award it with the,
Authorizing the mayor.
authorizing the village clerk to, authorizing the village clerk to, solicit an earlier starting date of 1 week based on comments received from the public.
Okay.
And reimbursement from the, let's,
With
let's,
the reimbursement.
resolution
Potential
approving the
reimbursement.
estimate for seasonal Port Sands 2, call ahead,
Yeah.
in the amount of
$220 per month.
$220 per month.
And authorizing the village clerk to contact call ahead to get a price and submitting proposal to start the service 1 week sooner based on public comments received at the meeting with the potential for reimbursement.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right.
Here's another one.
Another one. How should we handle this one?
Now, this one, I see the thing is, I don't know if we can do, we have to chat. So motion to table resolution 05-2025-10, awarding contract for road work paving pending due diligence.
So moved.
No, because because they're the asphalt plant that the village is in conflict with, so we have to figure out, all in favor?
Aye. Resolution number 05-2025-11. Resolution setting a public hearing at the June 12th, 2025 meeting on a proposed local law of 2025 creating section 183-18A of the Oakland Village Code, planning board established membership and terms of office removal. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 05-2025-12, resolution approving Jacqueline Taylor, Deirdre Cronin, Kendall Parrish, and Annette Ainsley as election inspectors, and Tyler Chiaffi and Linda Sharon as alternate election inspectors at an hourly rate of $16.50 for the June 17th, 2025 village elections. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 05-2025-13, resolution to accept direct reimbursement in the amount of $2,940 by property owner 27 Walnut Avenue for engineering expenses related to the erosion control plan resulting from August 18, 2024 storm. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution, oh, you gotta read them to us, baby doll.
All right. First up, we have Construction Technologies for $195.15. David Street Service for $150. Joseph Prokop for $1,750. PSEG Long Island for $463.27. PSEG for $14.13. Small Business Management Solutions for $540.69. And Suffolk County Village Officials Association for $150 for a total of $3,263.24. Next, we have Amazon capital account for $197.92. Next, we have Newsday for $176. Suzy Fuel Company for $179. Times Beacon for $293.07. Verizon Wireless for $101.06 for a total of $749.13. Next, we have the First National credit card, and we have Mount Sinai bill alignment for $275.90. New Picport for $129.94. USPS for $29.04 for a total of $434.88. Next, we have Canyon Financial Services for $249.85. Wells Back Electric of Long Island for $502.80 for a total of $752.65. Ace Hardware for $17.98, Axe Creators for $125, Optimum for $135.07, and Wex Bank for $209.50 for a total of $487.57. Next, we have Constructure again for $195.15, Flint Stenography for $287, PSEG for $563.79, PSEG for $14.13, Small Business Management Solutions for $548.28, Times Beacon for $155.12, and Winter Brothers for $11,532 for a total of $13,295.47. Next, we have the Home Depot credit card for $191.47, and Amazon for $129.97.
All right, so we've got Resolution 05-2025-14, resolution approving all checks for the voucher report. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the May 8th business session at 7:41 PM. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thank you, callers.
That is it.